We are burning the very last pile of wood in the field behind our cabin. We've been working on this field for 3 years. So we are so excited to be almost done. So we should be done burning this pile later today, and then we'll be completely done. When we bought this property 3 years ago, this entire area behind our cabin was covered with piles and mountains of rotting wood. It was full of snakes. You just couldn't even walk into it. You couldn't get back there. It was unusable land. So this whole area was clear cut about 15 years ago. And what they do when they clear cut, they take all the wood that they don't want and they pile it up in these areas they call the landing zones. And so that's what this was. And so it was covered with 15 years worth of rotting wood. When we first bought the property, we had no idea what we were going to do with this land. We didn't know how to clear it. We didn't know what we were going to do. We talked to Missouri Conservation Department to see if they could give us some ideas, and they said you should use controlled burns. And we didn't know how to do that. It sounded kind of scary. So they actually offered a free class to learn how to do controlled burns. It was a one-day class, and so we took the class, and armed with that knowledge, we started doing controlled burns of this field. And it's taken 2 big control burns where we burned the entire field. So we did the first year, then didn't get it all done because it started raining before it burned enough wood and stopped the burn. So the next year we did another one and almost completely cleared this field. And so now we just have this one remaining pile left, which we're burning this morning. And then we're going to be completely done with this field. So I'm so excited to be so close to, you know, the finale of 3 years of work. want to talk a little bit about controlled burns, some of the things that we learned in the Missouri Conservation Department class. So the most important thing to make sure that you get right before you do a controlled burn is to have a very good burn line. And what that means is clearing the ground down to either really short grass or down to the dirt all around the area that you want to burn, and make sure that there is no way for the fire to get outside of that area that you want to burn and cross over the burn line. So if you have really good burn lines and you make sure you burn on a day when it's not too windy, then you're going to be fine. And so we paid attention, and we made really good burn lines all around this area, and so we never had any problems. Our first burn was beautiful. It just went all the way to the burn lines and stopped right there, worked exactly like it was supposed to. And then, like I said before, it started raining. Rained really hard for like a whole day and stopped the burn, and so we didn't burn down as much wood as we were hoping to. So then the next year we couldn't burn because in the winter when we wanted to burn, because it was just one of the wettest winters we've ever had. So we had to wait until late spring, and so then the burn didn't go all out to the edges of the area, because there was too much green wood, plant matter growing up, and just wouldn't catch on fire. So we didn't get as much burned, but we did get the main part of the field burned almost all the way to the ground, and then we collected the rest of the wood into a big pile, and that's what we're burning today. They actually call these prescribed burns because depending on what you want to accomplish, it's kind of like a prescription. When you burn, how you set up your burn lines and everything you can accomplish a lot. You can burn an area to encourage certain kinds of vegetation to come back. You can burn an area in a way that will bring back certain kinds of wildlife. In our case, we just wanted to get rid of all the rotting wood, but the benefits are that this dirt is just very fertile, and so we're going to plant clover here and encourage a lot more wildlife, deer especially, to come back to this area. And another thing to consider is the time of year. If you want to kill all the trees, everything that is in the area that you're burning, then if you burn during the later in the spring and in the summer or fall, then it will be more likely to kill the larger trees and things like that are in the burn area, because the sap is running up in the trees. If you want to preserve the bigger trees, but you want to kill all the undergrowth, and you do your burn in the winter, early spring, when the sap is not flowing, then the tree usually won't kill the tree. You still need to clear out all around the tree so the fire doesn't get too hot right around the tree. So it's quite a fascinating process. We were quite amazed by how much land you can clear, how fast you can clear it with controlled burns. So it's definitely going to be a part of our process from now on.
Well, in my absence, I'll be surely missing you. I've been working every day, and I sure hope your love is too. And if I give you cause to doubt me, hope you always think about me. And if you think I will find another, it ain't true. Keep the home fire burning while I'm gone. I'll be back to fan the flame, it won't be long. Just a while and then I'm back where I belong. Keep the home fire burning while I'm gone.
So how do you feel about the fact that the field is finally done?
It is an amazing feeling. After 3 years, a big part of that wondering how in the world we were ever going to tackle that thing, and then learning how to do controlled burns, valuable skill to have, and now the last pile is burned. It's a feeling of satisfaction.
So, what are your next plans?
Well, big plans started today after we were standing there burning the last pile and looking off and seeing the view from there. I think we've decided instead of adding onto this cabin, we're just going to build a new cabin over there in the middle of the field and take advantage of that amazing view.
So, what are you going to do with your cabin you live in now?
You, Miss Lucky, that gets the best rooms in every house, this will be your office, which will make an amazing office for you with also an exceptional view. Not as good as the new cabin will be, but perfect place to work, and you've earned it.
So, how old do you think we'll be when this is all finished? We don't even need to answer that.
I hope not much over 60.
Well, 60's not very far away, Buster. Stay tuned. Part 2.
All kinds of trouble, you know what to do. I know you take care of yourself, but there's a box of 22s, and my pistol's always loaded, and another in the sock drawer, just in case they think I'm gone. Come feed me. Lord, I know I've done some evil in my time, but that don't mean there ain't no goodness in this evil heart of mine. And it don't mean that I can't see the light. So while I'm out here fighting this good fight, just keep the home fire burning while I'm gone. I'll be back to fan the flame, it won't be long. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to, then I'm home. Keep the home fire burning while I'm gone. Keep the home fire burning. Won't you keep it burning, honey, while I'm gone?